good morning everyone. It's Jazz, it's the West Ham Minds channel. It's a crisp, frosty Sunday morning and I'm coming out with a special show today. I was looking at the news this morning, what's kind of around, amongst the usual transfer gossip, which I will do another show for today and deal with it separately. But this show and program is about the news that's filtering around the media, and it's news that I didn't think would happen, but some of you fans did think it would happen. If you remember when Calvin Phillips signed, I always like to do the tactics board and show you where new players could fit in, or where new players, how they play for their current club and how they could fit in with us as well going forward. And let me show you something straight away before I get into it. Let me share that tactics screen with you straight away before we discuss the main topic. So here we go. There we go. Right. This is how I thought we would set up going forward when nearly everyone is fit, right? With Calvin Phillips coming in. So I thought there would be, obviously, the back four looks after itself with Emerson, Kufal playing a little bit more further up as wing back. So I thought with Alvarez as a sweeper, Ward-Prowse Phillips as a CDM, new partnership, and then without Antonio and not using a striker, up to summer, it'd be Paqueta, Bowen and Kudus up front. But the news filtering, the rows at the moment, everyone is that, they kind of think that David Moyes is going to drop Edson Alvarez for Calvin Phillips, and that can only mean one thing, that kind of Soucek is kind of going to remain. So again, a lot of you said that this would happen. He's not going to kind of drop Ward-Prowse or Soucek, especially Soucek. And this is what is being reported, really. It's kind of saying that Calvin Phillips is going to have a huge impact on the Mexicans' place at the London Stadium. It's added that David Moyes intends to start Calvin Phillips ahead of 26-year-old Alvarez because David Moyes has become frustrated with his discipline on the pitch, having picked up 11 yellow cards so far. I mean, if that really happens, I mean, I can only think of that he's going to be working his way up to full fitness, so perhaps he's on the bench for that game. But that's kind of what's been said, and yeah, it's kind of a bit worrying for me. It's a bit concerning for me. I mean, if that kind of happens, then what would usually happen if I show you here was, let's kind of take Alvarez out of there and bring in Soucek. Then you're going to have Soucek a bit further up, and then you're going to have Ward-Prowse. So you see the effect of Soucek in the team is that Kufal will go a little bit more back, Emerson will go a little bit more back, and you just got that tiny bit of less discipline and less cover for the defence, really. So Phillips, Ward-Prowse, a lot of pressure on them to be the CDMs, and then because Soucek's going to be, he thinks he's kind of there and there, but he's neither there. He doesn't really defend as well as you guys think. I mean, you'll always see him running around like a headless chicken all over the pitch, but the thing to note about Soucek is he will very rarely make a really important tackle or an interception or break-up play. He just doesn't do that. He's physically fit to just run around all day, which Moyes loves. But his biggest gift is sometimes in injury time or towards the end of the game, he'll pop up with a goal at the end, whereas in the whole game he hasn't done anything. And that goal doesn't always come. That's why he gets pelters, because that goal doesn't always come, will not always come. And then you have to look at the rest of what he's done for the team, and it's kind of not really there. So his best attribute is get on the back of a cross, get back of Ward-Prowse, cross and then a deflection or kind of a rebound, something like that. But Soucek is not a CDM. He will not break up play. He's not really physically that kind of player. I mean, you'll see him running around and you'll see him in and around the box, but that's all he will do. You will very rarely see him really physically get at the attackers and push them off the ball, tackle like Alvarez and Calvin Phillips would do, and intercept like Rice used to. Rice used to do a lot of work for Soucek when they were the CDMs together. And I think with Soucek in the team, And Alvarez is obviously currently in a lot of work for Alvarez. He's got to cover that back four, which is, especially the centre-back pairing at West Ham this season, which has looked at most times very nerve-wracking, unsettled, and it's just not looked good. And there's a lot of pressure on Alvarez, and he's done really, really well. So I'm surprised by this breaking news. And some of you will not be surprised and kind of by it. And it's kind of, well, the more I kind of think about it, the more I'm not really surprised maybe with David Moyes in that way, because he loves Soucek, but for me, Alvarez is the future. You've got to play him in there, and I think he does a great role as a sweeper, as a proper CDM, and he can also slot in nicely in between the two centre backs. So we've got three at the back. He's very versatile. He has played at centre back at Ajax. He's settled in very, very well. Yellow cards, you're going to get that with CDMs. You've seen the refereeing this season. Someone gets punched 2-3 times like Creswell, doesn't get booked. He does a fair tackle, goes for the ball, wins the ball, gets booked. It's not his fault, right? It's kind of what we want. We can't really go too soft in football, even though it more or less has. So maybe he's got to do more professional fouls like Man City do, where they don't get booked, but it's not that lunging physical tackles. It's kind of those little blocks and kind of abstractions and things like that, really. But Phillips is the same. If anything, Calvin Phillips is more aggressive, more physical than Alvarez. So I don't think that's an issue with David Moyes. I think the best team out there at the moment has to be Calvin Phillips and Alvarez and Ward-Prowse in the middle, all three of them. That's a magic trio. You know, I was going to do a show on that. The Three Musketeers. You will not get a three central midfield trio like that. A lot of clubs in the Premiership, you know, that's kind of astounding. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Soucek, I've more or less just had enough of him, I think. I don't want to single him out because sometimes he's all right, but I think he's a good squad player. He's a bit like Antonio, he'll be a good squad player. A bit like Danny Ings, he'll be a good squad player. Cornet, we'll see what happens with him, but yeah, if you're looking at the bench, 70 minutes, you've got Antonio, Cornet, Soucek, people like that kind of suddenly looks good with Danny Ings as well, didn't it? A lot of options, really. That's kind of what we're looking at. What made it really bad going into the window was how off-form the mentioned squad was. But hopefully we're getting more and more better. Those three players we mentioned, Johnson, Cornet, Danny Ings, will keep up that mini revival in January they've done. And then obviously in another show I will tackle the 2-3 that are going out the window, we think, before the transfer window. So that's kind of the quick show I was going to do with you guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. But the news for me concerning slightly filtering around is that in the next couple of games at least, Alvarez is going to be on the bench, Soucek's going to be playing, and we'll see how it goes. But I don't know if that could be a permanent feature where Alvarez won't play as much as he used to. I just want to see Alvarez, Calvin Phillips, and Ward-Prowse together. I think its kind of potential is amazing and unlimited, and that's kind of what I want to see. So that's a quick show on that. I will be doing another show on the transfer news and gossip separately, but I thought I'd get this interesting show out there on this Sunday where we're not playing, so maybe, yeah, just lift your spirits, or kind of put them the other way around, really. So you guys have a great Sunday. Go shopping with your wives and kind of your partners, keep them happy. I'm about to, but yeah, that's it. Let me know, mate. I want Soucek on the bench, and I want to see Alvarez with Phillips and Ward-Prowse in there, and we see how we do from there, really. So yeah, have a great Sunday. Take care. Come on, you irons.